the Joe Rogan of the left framework has always been bullshit.
Sure.
Because, number one, what left? Like,
Yeah.
it was always Democrats
Yes,
who were
yeah.
saying that. And number two, Joe Rogan is attractive for billionaires and right wingers in the Republican Party and Donald Trump because he isn't a good interviewer, because he doesn't
Okay.
ask follow-ups. And so I think the sort of the implicit ask is, where can we find our dumbass
Okay.
who won't push back,
Uh-huh.
who won't ask us hard questions? And I think the Democratic Party, in fact, has found, I mean, there's a lot of
Oh, sure,
influencers
yeah.
out there who kind of do that, where they'll just be given an interview with a senator and ask them no hard question. I mean, I always make a point, if I get electeds on, I'm going to give them their flowers where they deserve it, and I'm going to push them where I think they need to be pushed and ask them. I had Representative Yasmin Ansari on, who's been really out in front on ICE stuff. She traveled to El Salvador when Kilmar Abrego Garcia was, deported to CCOT there. She was on the show, and she was certainly not expecting to hear me ask her, what about all of the funding you've taken from the Israel lobby?
Wow.
And what are your thoughts on Palestine? And it was like, ooh, and that was successful. Now, will she do my show again? Maybe. But for me, it was successful to say to my audience, look, you don't come on my show for me to just glaze you.
Yeah.
That's so boring. I don't care what we're talking about. It's fucking boring. And the fact that if she does come back, I think Rokana's very good at this. He gets his ass handed to him. He gets grilled, and he comes back for more. And it's like, cool, so you've got some sort of integrity.
Right, yeah.
You're willing to go on these shows. If you get asked a hard question that was not vetted before, you have your answer, and then, you'll come back on at another point, because I gave you I was like, yay, I cheered you on here, and then I pushed you here. I didn't say this means you're a fucking fake or a phony, but I push you,
Sure.
So, and that, I think, is what the Democratic Party actually doesn't want.
Right, yeah.
I think we saw just recently Barack Obama got an interview with, or Brian Tyler Cohen, better put, a massive Democratic influencer, got an interview with Barack Obama. Barack Obama's, answers the question, like, do aliens exist? And he was like, yep, I haven't seen it. They're not at Area 51, but they're real. And then Brian Tyler Cohen kind of moves on to the next question. And I saw Phoebe Robinson just was like, what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you have, even that silly question, it's like, stop down, push a little bit,
But yeah, that is the Joe Rogan, because
like,
well,
wow.
yes. Or like for those types of guys, they were talking about Epstein files for years and years, and then to invite on all these people that they know are in the files and don't even bring it up. And it doesn't even seem like it's calculated. It seemed like they're too dumb to be like, oh, by the way, what's up with Epstein?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's calculated, and I also think, there are some people, Rogan has his Spotify deal in some ways. For how long that dude is going to be potting, I feel Rogan gets worse without Spotify money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
at some point, that contract might end.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, then he needs, like, a Russian media
Yes, yeah.
organization, or
Yeah.
then he needs some Teal money. Because you'll notice the people like Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, some of these right-wingers who definitely have, like, whether it's the Netanyahu spigot, whether it's the Russia spigot, Putin spigot, or whether it's just like, a billionaire spigot, they're not talking about the Epstein files. They won't. They know when to, they know when to button it up and change it. So there's also like a weird, sickening argument to be made for not deplatforming people.
Yes, yeah. Wait, yes. Okay. I have this friend.
Yes.
His name is Frankie. And
Okay.
he has this whole elaborate theory, and it's a little bit haha funny. It's a little bit Charlie Day at the thing. But it also totally checks out of Patrice O'Neill dying ruined Anthony Cumia, because that was the black guest who he would say all this problematic stuff, and all of the white comics say, ha ha ha, that's crazy. And
Right.
Patrice says, no, that's stupid, you're stupid.
Right.
He dies, so he doesn't have the black comic to check him anymore. Then Anthony Cumia gets canceled, and he has to start his own compound media. And now he can be so racist and so crazy. And it's like,
You don't have your tether anymore.
yes, but then it's like, what are you saying? That we should let racist people be on terrestrial radio so they don't get more racist? No, but
Well, no, but
they do get more extreme when they get deplatformed, because they go on to these
And they
like,
have their grievance
black market
politics.
type platforms.
I mean,
Yes,
and like,
yeah.
you know, speaking of Shane Gillis, like to his credit, I think that after not getting the SNL
Yeah.
gig, he didn't go down
He could've,
sort of
yeah.
the grievance, comedy grievance politics
Yeah.
hole that so many, I think, who are less talented go down.
Yes.
Because it's so easy. You sort of like relegate yourself and use that as, you know, your thing. I mean, on the left, that happens a lot, which is the narrative is why I left the left.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Which is like, it's money. Like, it's just money. Oh, why? Because you never hear a why I left the right. Very
yeah.
infrequently a
Sure.
why I left the right. There's just so much money on the other side. But yeah, I think having a tether is important to keep you in check. It's a friend of mine, Corinna Dobbins, this comic, has this joke about like, you know, liberal racism versus like, you know, kind of open
Overt
racism,
yeah.
overt racism, and how some people are like, you know, nah, just give it to me straight. I can tell you're racist, whatever. And her joke is basically like, she's basically like, nah, like I need you to couch your racism. You should pull back. Like, I
That's
don't want
funny.
that open racist. There's no real joke there, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
She's like, actually having some amount of like politically correct P's and Q's in your brain. That's not you having the woke police in your head. That's not the
Yeah.
mob coming after you. That's you having tact.
Yes, or just like living in a society.
That's you living in a society. Like, it's like, nah, we don't. But that is
Right.
what that's what MAGA is groomed for. Like, anything that tells you live in a society, you
Right.
must buck.
Yes.
So silly.